my name is Jackie and I'm an adventure photographer. Oh wait, or am I a landscape photographer? What's the difference? What do I tell people? How do I identify who I am in this photographer world? I am an adventure photographer. That is how I define myself. And I wanted to share with you today what the difference is between adventure photography and landscape photography, because to me there is a difference. It may not sound like there's a big difference, but there is a difference. What is adventure photography? What is landscape photography? Are they the same thing? Are they different? Adventure photography is landscape photography. Kind of. But it's also everything else that comes with it. I kind of use it as an umbrella term. It includes the action shots, the wildlife, the flora, the weather, the lifestyle of being on an adventure. Do I take beautiful landscape photos? Yes, and that's one of my favorite things to take. But I also take a wide variety of photos that come with the adventure as a whole. Think about, for an example, what an adventure means to you. What is an adventure? If you're going on an adventure like Bilbo Baggins,
I'm going on an adventure!
what does that mean? What does an adventure mean to you? This is what an adventure means to me, and this is how I define an adventure in the sense of how I define my adventure photography as well. The first and foremost, biggest component of an adventure is exploration. That's what an adventure is. Even if it is a textbook trip to a national park and you're going with a tour guide, it's still an adventure. Is that something I do? No, not really. If anything, I'm the tour guide on a lot of those trips when I take friends or family. The adventure is about exploring. It is about what comes with that exploration. And the second most important part of that is being present in that moment, being present in that exploration, being present in what the adventure has to offer, and the feelings that come with it, good or bad. Some of my favorite adventure photos, specifically with people in them, are actually kind of photos of suffrage. They are photos of the nitty-gritty, kind of the worst parts of the trip, because there's so much to tell in that photo. Two of my friends climbing up a class 3 pitch on a Colorado 14er. They're scared, they're cold, they're nervous. This is their first real class 3 climb, and I'm there with them documenting this exploration, documenting this challenge, this suffering that comes with it. Adventures can also be full of fun and excitement, and there's nothing wrong with showcasing that. But I have found the detail that comes with the action, the nitty-gritty, kind of the big open shot of somebody trudging down the trail with this big wide open landscapes tells so much more than a hooray we made it peak photo. Do I take the hooray we made it peak photos? Of course, we all like our peak photos, but I don't consider that art in the same way that I consider some of the photos that I take that showcase more of the challenges that come with those adventures. And those are some of my favorites. Some of them can also just showcase the sheer magnitude of the beauty of the adventure. My favorite photo of me is a photo like this. It is a photo of me in front of Ama de Blanc, looking up at the magnitude and the magnificence of this peak. It is massive, it is gorgeous, and it left me in sheer awe. And I can look at that picture and be immediately taken back to how I felt in that moment, to that exact moment in time where I'm staring at this mountain going, oh my God, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life, and I never want to leave. Those are the kind of pictures that tell the strongest stories to me. Do I still take beautiful landscape photos? Of course. And they tell their own stories. I sell those at art shows, and they do great, and they're fun, and they're fine, and they're gorgeous, but they're part of the adventure too. A lot of the landscape photos I try to take pictures of take a little bit more work than your average landscape photo. Not to say that landscape photographers don't go on hikes to find their locations, because I know plenty that do. And I know some great, well-renowned photographers that go into really wild places to get these amazing, unique shots. And honestly, those are the photographers that I really aspire to be more like. But I consider that more adventure photography than landscape photography. Taking incredible glacial landscape photos is much more of an adventure than it is about here's this pretty landscape. You can take a gorgeous picture of Rainier from afar, from a nearby lake, and it's gorgeous and it's a great landscape shot. But getting that sunrise photo from above the Disappointment Cleaver when you're actually climbing the mountain is such a cool perspective. And it's one that the average person doesn't really get to see. And that's what I enjoy showcasing the most. I enjoy showcasing those shots that really are less seen or less traveled. And it's a little bit harder to do that with how big social media has kind of blown up that world, which is okay. It's not to say that people shouldn't get out and climb. I am all for more people getting outdoors because it's good for you. It's good for your soul. And this is why I do it, is because I love connecting with nature in that way. But the average person still probably won't get out into those places. And when you're in a big outdoor community, it's easy to see a lot of those photos. It's easy to fall into that comparison syndrome a little bit because everybody's taking photos in kind of that similar realm. But then I have to kind of come back to myself and realize it's okay because I am taking these photos for me. I am taking them for what I want to feel, where I want to explore, where I want to go and adventure. And that's the whole point in why I take the photos that I take. I think the most important piece that can come from an adventure is expecting the unexpected and then getting to document that is always really incredible. My all-time favorite photo, it's become kind of my logo photo, is my wide shot of Ama de Blanc. It's similar to my favorite picture of me where I'm looking up at the mountain, but this is just the landscape, it's just a mountain. And the reason it was such an impactful, powerful photo to me is because it was completely unexpected. As an avid climber and somebody who's grown up in the outdoors my entire life, I knew about Ama de Blanc as a mountain. I have seen pictures of it growing up, and I knew what it would look like when I got to Nepal. When I saw it for the first time, it was exactly how I expected because it was the common perspective that you see it from. But after climbing for a couple days in the clouds, getting up above the little village of Dingbache, the clouds parted and Ama was in this sheer magnitude of gorgeousness. And that's the best way I can really explain it because I literally have no words. I was in such awe. I stopped. We didn't continue trekking for like 2 hours because we were just in such awe of the magnitude and the beauty of this peak, and it's gonna make me cry thinking about it because I can put myself back there and just be in awe again when I think about it and when I really look at that photo again. Whew. It was completely unexpected. I didn't expect to see that side of the mountain. I didn't know that that side of the mountain existed. I knew about the common view and the common look that Ama de Blanc presents in like the majority of photos that you see online, which is fine. And it's a gorgeous mountain and it's still gorgeous taken from that side. But seeing it from above Dingbache was a whole nother experience. It was completely unexpected and it became my all-time favorite photo because of how impactful that feeling was in that moment. It's become such a profound photo for me as a photographer. I have it as my main eye catcher in my art booths when I go do art shows. People will kind of walk by as they go through art shows and they may kind of work their way in and out of booths. I get so many people that will just be kind of walking by, not really paying attention. They'll look over, get a glance of my big Ama de Blanc photo hanging front and center in my art booth. And they're just like, whoa. Where is that? What is that? I gotta know where that is. And then they come in to come look at the little title tile on my photo. They may not buy it, and that's fine. I have a lot of people that buy smaller versions of it just because it's so cool. They've never seen it before. They've never seen that perspective before. And that's, I think, the most important aspect of an adventure photo to me. Is it still a landscape photo? Yes, but that landscape photo comes with so much adventure. There's so much more to it. Adventure photography is capturing the story in motion. Whether I'm actually capturing people in motion, like say for example on the ridge line of a peak or out in the snow on a backcountry ski day, or maybe it's a wildlife encounter. But overall, even if I'm just capturing the landscape, there's a story to be told. And if there's adventure behind getting to that landscape, there's a story there. There's a story to be shared in the way that I take my landscape photos. I'm trying to showcase all of it. I'm trying to showcase both the beauty of the landscape, but also the beauty of the nitty-gritty and the not so pretty. And that to me is the most beautiful of all. So hopefully this gives a little bit better of a definition difference between landscape photography and adventure photography. If you still kind of think they're the same thing, you're not entirely wrong. I choose to use adventure photography as my main definition of who I am as a photographer because I do shoot more than just the landscape. I try to ensure that my landscape photos showcase the adventure, and that's what's more important to me. And ultimately, every photographer is different. There are plenty of landscape photographers out there who call themselves landscape photographers because that's their main focus is on the landscape. For me, I don't usually shoot landscape just to shoot the landscape. It happens, but it's rare. Usually I am on some sort of adventure and the landscape photos are a product of that adventure. I rarely go somewhere just to shoot the landscape. I'm going somewhere for the adventure. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a like, give my channel a subscribe. I will be putting out lots more content about adventure photography, some of the behind the scenes of what I do, how I do my job, and of course the adventures along the way. So go ahead and give that a subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.